Hello and welcome. If you are watching this, you were absent on Thursday, October 29th. This is for Speech Class Block 1. Mr. McDonald wasn't able to make it here today, but Teacher Man is here to lead you through the wonderful, wonderful things that we all learned in class. So in speech class, you had an assignment called Speech Building a Speech, the Thesis, and Supporting Materials. Let's read through it together and answer because education is awesome. Speak up. Write about what you think the word hobby means to you. Do you have more than one hobby? If so, which hobby is most important to you? What do you enjoy most about it? So a hobby is something that you do in your spare time for enjoyment. Teacher Man loves learning to read. His other hobbies include writing. As far as which hobby is more important to him, he would say reading because it is nice and relaxing. So make sure that you answer that speak up question. Continuing on, deciding on your thesis and your main ideas. Once you've decided on a purpose, determine which aspect of your topic will best embody that purpose. For example, if the purpose of your speech is to inform, which elements of the topic do you want your audience to understand? Identify the main ideas you think must be communicated. Narrow your focus until you have between 2 to 5 main points. A typical audience will remember no more than that. Once you select your main ideas, it's time to craft the thesis of your speech. The thesis is a one-sentence statement that clearly and concisely explains what you are going to talk about in your speech. Remember, the things that are highlighted in red are going to show up again, Mr. McDonald said, on a speech quiz, so they are extra important to remember. So the thesis is a one-sentence statement that clearly and concisely explains what you're going to be talking about in a speech. Awesome! For many speeches, the thesis tells the listener exactly what your position is on the topic you will be discussing. Here are some sample thesis statements for you. The City Council must take action on the dangerous traffic situation on West Main Road. You know what they're going to be talking about. The traffic situations, how they're dangerous on West Main Road. Learning to play the piano can build skills in many areas of your life. You know what they're going to talk about. Building skills in areas of your life as far as playing the piano. And brush your teeth too often causes damage to your gums. They're going to talk about how brush your teeth too often are going to add damage to your gums. Theses add clarity to your speech. It can kind of be said like a one-sentence summary of your speech. Teacher Man needs coffee. Delicious. A strong thesis statement can provide a blueprint for your entire speech, which will make it easier to you to fill out the rest of your speech as you go. Do not rush the development, as this is an important part of your preparation. Teacher Man already covered that stuff. Awesome. Gathering supporting materials. So supporting materials are what you will use to help make your speech better. Your next step is to gather materials and information for your speech. Once you determine your main ideas and your thesis, you need to provide a variety of supporting materials to help explain your ideas to the audience and back those up with evidence. This part of your preparation will take you on and will search for information from respected resources on the topic. While you're gathering basic information, you also want to look for appropriate quotations. So you can look online for those. Appropriate quotations are what other people have said. Statistics, those are numbers. Maybe you're talking about why attending school is important, or maybe you're talking about the homeless population. Examples. One of the reasons why I am against drug testing is, and you have an example. Anecdotes, stories, sometimes personal ones. So an anecdote is just a fancy word for a story. You want to tell something to the people you're speaking to. Visual aids are stuff you could see. This up here in the corner. It's a visual aid. You can see, Teacher Man. Models. Models would be something like if you're giving a speech on the solar system and you bring in awesome planets to display like Jupiter and Saturn, but not Pluto because Pluto is not a planet anymore, Teacher Man said. Be on the lookout for anything that can help illustrate your ideas and hold your audience's attention. By planning ahead, you can determine the kinds of supporting material that will be ideal for your speech. Then all you need to do is conduct a search for those specific materials. Let's look back on this again. So I know that a Teacher Man has heard in Mr. McDonald's classroom that there has been people who have talked about vacations and brought in pictures to pass around. That's so cool. You can have a PowerPoint slide as a visual aid. I think that's really helpful. It says, thesis statement in practice, write a thesis statement for each of the following topics. Okay, so what you need to do is write a one-sentence summary about what you can write about in your speech. So preservatives used in breakfast materials. Breakfast cereals, not materials. Teacher Man's a little bit tired. He's going to drink a little bit more coffee. It's a little early. Although it's never too early to learn. All right, preservations used in breakfast cereals. So you could say there are three reasons why preservatives are bad for you in breakfast cereals. Effects of insomnia on daily life. So again, insomnia is something where you are not able to sleep. So you could talk about different things, or you could talk about a lot of different topics with that. But you want to think about a thesis statement for that. Again, it's a concise summary of your speech. You're gonna have a speech about the effects of insomnia on daily life. You need to write one sentence, one, about the things you're gonna be talking about in that speech. Acupuncture and allergies. Acupuncture, when they take those needles and they stick you with those needles all over the place. Study habits of high school sophomores and falling attendance at local sports events. If you need help with these, scroll back up and take a look up here. The thesis is a statement that clearly and concisely explains what you're going to talk about in your speech. So, for example, this person probably had traffic situations on West Main Road. This person might have had learning to play the piano. This person might have damaging your gums. And they made thesis statements out of them because they're cool people. The next part is supporting materials practice. Think of specific examples of each of the following types of supporting materials that one may use during their speech. Okay, so a specific example of appropriate quotations. You want to think about a certain speech topic that you have, and you want to have it in your mind, and then Google a quotation that you think would be appropriate to use for that speech topic. Let's say you are talking about the importance of marriage, maybe. Find something that has a quotation about someone talking about marriage. Specific example of statistics. Let's say you're talking about the dropout rate of high school seniors. Find out what that dropout rate is. Go online. Specific example of examples. Let's say you're talking about different options of lunch. Explain some of those different options that you have and why you should be able to have open lunch. Specific examples of anecdotes. It's going to be a story. Write Teacher Man a story. He will love to read it. He loves reading everything that is educated related. Specific example of visual aids. Teacher Man's already gone over some of these up above, but they can be things like photographs, PowerPoints, it's just things that you can see while you are speaking your speech. When you are looking for these, once again, have a topic in mind. Think about, I'm going to talk about my family vacation. Teacher Man always goes to Teacher Land, which is awesome because you get to meet all sorts of wonderful students and you get to teach all day long. And he has pictures of it that he would bring in if he was talking about it. Specific example of models. So what are some of the different things that you can demonstrate in front of the class or that you can bring up for them to look at? Maybe you're talking about the world, you could bring in a globe. Think about an object that you can kind of bring in that's kind of 3D. That's what we're rocking and rolling for this assignment. Teacher Man is so happy that you were able to watch it. He wishes he could see you again, but there are students all over the world that need to be educated. So for now, Teacher Man would like to say goodbye. And if you have any questions on your assignment, you could talk to Teacher Man if he's around or Mr. McDonald. Have a great day.